What is up, skate rats? So 2026 is my year of wall rides. I accidentally learned how to do them back in 2025 in the fall, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. But this year, I've actually been looking around at obviously the urban environment. But since wall rides really have never been on my radar, it's kind of been fun to be looking around at different weird things saying like, hey, can I wall ride that? Because in the past, I've only was able to actually do wall ride to fakies, and I really don't do them that often because it is a very basic trick. At the start of 2026 is when I found out that I had learned how to do wall rides, and I don't have a Jersey barrier available, but I do actually backside carve Jersey barriers, but I found it a lot easier on vertical walls to do them like this. So what I'm actually doing is I'm getting my front truck up onto the wall, and then I'm getting my back truck, and then I'm essentially doing like an ollie north out, which allows my back wheels to smack the wall and bounce. And I'm able to kind of pop in a sense. In truth, if you look back and you watch it in slow motion, you'll see that my front leg touches the board only when all four wheels are on the wall, is kind of when it touches it for a second and then immediately comes off. In truth, I really would love to learn full 1 foot wall rides, but that's a future video. So what we're going to do is we're going to battle today switch backside wall rides, which I legitimately threw out as a joke during the session that you're about to see. And I got kinda-ish close, so I immediately stopped what I was doing and just started filming this video. So switch backside wall rides, and then we're going to talk about what I've learned about them this year, what I learned about doing the switch ones, and just conversate about learning wall rides in general. Now this is the reason why I stopped the other night. So the door sticks out very small amount past this wall, and where I had to carve in to have enough room was in about this space, and I kept chipping up my door, and I really didn't want to break my door, so I just kind of had to stop, but I was having so much fun doing them. Now let's talk about how I accidentally learned wall rides. I want to touch on how I accidentally learned wall rides, and then we're going to actually talk about the wall rides themselves. So 2025, it's the fall, and it's the last day before we're supposed to get a super snowstorm. So I decided to go to the skate park, and there is this really bad obstacle there. It starts off as a flat bar, but it's an out rail. It's waist height as the drop off, so it's very sackable. And to make it worse, they put concrete transition on each side, meaning that you could very easily slide your legs. Trust me, I know. Anyway, anytime I go to the skate park, I feel really uninspired. All the obstacles are cool-ish, but they're all made really badly. It's really bad dimensions of everything, with the exception of one or two things. So every time I go there, I have zero inspiration, and I looked at this really weird obstacle, and I just said, I wonder if I could slash grind that. And I'll tell you right now, the rail sticks out an inch on each side, so it took me 1.5 hours to 2 hours, but I was able to slash grind it, and it was the hardest slash grind I'll probably ever do in my life. Once I did that, though, an acquaintance of mine, a guy named Steve, he came over, he shook my hand, he's like, hey man, I just saw what you did, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen on that. And I was like, hey, thanks. And he goes, I've never seen anybody actually wall ride it, let alone slash it. And alarm went off in my head, and it was like, hey, he said wall ride. Because remember, there is transition on it. So in this moment in time, I don't quite understand why he's saying wall ride. So we talk for another few minutes, and as we are parting ways, he goes, I bet you're really good at wall rides. So the whole drive home, that's playing over in my head again. I'm like, he said wall rides twice. I suck at wall rides. I've done like 2 in my life. At that point, I did maybe 2, maybe 3 in my life. And it was just pure simply, I threw myself at a wall enough and something happened. I didn't know how to do them at all. When I got home and I edited, I realized the transition on this stupid obstacle is so minuscule at the bottom. I never actually touched it. I was just doing a full wall ride on a vertical surface, getting up to the rail. And there is a bank there, so I had a little bit of assistance. But fast forward through the whole winter, this is on my mind of, can I actually wall ride now? And we have the first day of spring, first day of nice weather in 2026, and my wife happens to take my daughter somewhere, so I have a little bit of time right before sunset, and I head down to a new spot in town that's about a block from me, and it's just a bunch of Jersey barriers in a row. So I was like, well, we'll see. Let me just mimic what I can remember from a few months ago. And sure as shit, like within a 25-minute period at sunset, I do like 10 really awesome wall rides getting up to the vertical part of a Jersey barrier. And I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. You know, it's such a unique, odd feeling. So fast forward a little bit from there, I start trying to do them on vert walls, and I realized, like just normal walls, I realized that I can't quite bend down low enough to backside wall ride them, at least not yet. I might have to stretch a little bit, and I probably could get there. So I learned how to do like the little bounce off, where I do get 4 wheels down, but I'm bouncing off my back truck. And that's what we're gonna talk about right now. So the way I do it is practically a 1 foot thing the whole time, with one small exception. So I actually don't have my board in here, it's in the car, but I have this board. So what I do is I go and I hit the wall and I start going up the wall. But as I'm going up the wall, my front foot isn't touching. So this allows this to go up fully. Once I get all 4 wheels down, my front foot touches for a second, and then it releases and pulls back away from the wall, which allows the board to tilt and follow me. I'm sure at this point, any skater has seen the Mitchie Brusco thing where he takes his front foot and he keeps moving his front foot around trying to pick it up, and you can't do that. So I don't actually ollie off the wall, I like ollie north off the wall. And just that action of kicking my foot up away from the board is what physically pulls it from the wall. And it works really well. So I've been playing around with vertical walls more because it's definitely something I need to practice versus, slanted walls. But the biggest tip I could say for doing it switch was make sure you have a good carve in. You do want to pinch your toes down. That it's not a necessity, but it does help you get up the wall a little bit easier. And then the last big tip was I spent the first 20 minutes kind of unsure if I could do this or not until I realized I was treating it like fakie. So I was closing my shoulders off, which was fine. You kind of want to do that if you don't want to touch the wall. You got to close your shoulders off. But I was riding like fakie too much. So I had to open my shoulders just a little bit. And I also had to flip my board around and skate it like I was skating switch versus skating fakie, because your nose is steeper. So I wanted to have my nose hitting the wall. So those little things definitely did help me. But the one tip I'm going to give that is the biggest tip, learn how to get onto the wall first. Learn wall ride to fakies. It's perfectly fine. It is a good basic trick to learn first. Once you can get on the wall consistently, if you don't want to touch the wall, you do have to learn how to do it blindly. You need to be able to hit the wall with your shoulders kind of closed off, or you could look at it, but once you touch the wall, you got to whip your shoulders, which for me is a little bit more difficult. But the biggest tip, don't think about it like pumping up the wall. Don't think about it like trying to carve it like a quarter pipe. That's all fucking bullshit, and it's not true. Jump down the wall. Physically, wherever you're hitting, physically jump down the wall. Take a second, put your board against the wall. Think about where you're gonna exit the wall. So you're gonna go up, say here, you're gonna come down, say here. You are jumping to your landing point. Now on vertical walls, you wanna lean back a little bit further. On something like a Jersey barrier, you wanna lean a little bit forward because you're doing that full carve. But physically, get to the wall, jump to the landing. You wanna get yourself completely weightless and allow that board to just carry with you on the wall. You don't wanna pin it. The only exception to this is if you're trying to do it like staircases or you're doing really far wall rides, then you need to kind of stick to the wall a little bit more. Jump. Trust me. Hippie jump the wall. Might sound weird, might sound goofy until you try one for the first time. Hippie jump the wall. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and as always, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you have any questions for me, drop a comment down below. Have a great day and keep pushing forward, guys.